so many things to talk about in today's BlockBound news video, including Terraria-related stuff that may be added to BlockBound, news about Jesse and Ayla, and more. There is a lot to go through today, so sit back and enjoy today's video. So first up, we actually have something pretty interesting, and this one is more of like a hint rather than a full confirmation. Recently, Xoters mentioned that there could potentially be some Terraria-related content coming into BlockBound, which honestly I did not expect at all. He said that some Terraria media-related stuff might be added to BlockBound, which is huge, I might say, because this opens BlockBound to a whole new world where there may be new maps, new cosmetics, or even skins for some of the roster. This is the kind of crossover idea that instantly changes how the game feels, because it is not just adding random content, it is basically pulling in an entire game identity into BlockBound. If you guys did not know, Terraria is basically a game with a similar vibe to Minecraft in terms of its block style and survival gameplay, but it goes way deeper with progression, bosses, biomes, and insane item variety. That is why adding Terraria into BlockBound might actually be so goated, because mixing those two styles together can create really unique skins, abilities, and even map themes that we have never seen before in the game. And because of this, the community seems to be loving the idea. It is one of those updates that does not even need to be confirmed yet for people to start imagining what it could turn into. Before Xoters even said this, some fan-made skins had already been made, which honestly makes this whole situation even more interesting because it kind of shows the community was already thinking in that direction. These are called the Relogical skins, and it is basically a collection that contains around 10 different skins inspired by that crossover style. One of the skins that I want to show you guys is the Warden skin, and this one looks genuinely insane in my opinion. So this is the skin. The Warden seems to have horns that stick out from its head with sharp teeth that create a more terrifying and corrupted look. It is not just a simple redesign, it actually feels like a full transformation of the character into something way darker and more powerful. Moving down to the body, the chest has a core or an eye in the middle that is covered with a bone-like structure, which could maybe be teeth, or even some kind of ribcage armor. It gives off this feeling like the creature is barely being contained, and something inside is trying to break out. At the ends of its limbs, we can also see tentacle-like or root-like structures coming out, which makes the whole design feel more organic and alive instead of just being armor. One of the coolest parts about this concept is the ability idea. Rather than shooting out a sonic boom like the normal Warden in Minecraft, this version is imagined to shoot out purple laser attacks instead, which instantly makes it feel more like a boss-style character rather than just a normal unit. It basically turns the Warden into something that feels like it belongs in a Terraria boss fight. Overall, I really like this skin, but the other skins in the collection might actually look even better. The reason I am focusing on this one first is because this specific skin actually got a response from Xoters himself. This next skin made for Grox has a skeleton body design and is dressed almost like some kind of ninja assassin. From the face, it is almost fully covered with a bandana and some kind of mouth cover, where you can only really see the glowing red eyes. That detail alone already makes it feel way more intense and mysterious. This skin looks so good to the point where Xoters actually responded with a simple, "I like these" to the skin collection, which is honestly a big deal because even a small reaction from a developer can usually mean they are at least considering the idea. You can see the overall Relogical skin collection as a whole, and it is actually really well made. The community also seems to agree with that because there are a lot of upvotes and positive reactions coming in. It is not just random hype either. It actually feels like people genuinely want this style of content in the game because it fits the BlockBound vibe surprisingly well. Other than that, BlockBound can even add maps that are inspired by Terraria biomes, which is where things get even more interesting. Imagine a glowing mushroom biome-inspired map with a night sky and a blue-tinted landscape, where the whole environment feels slightly glowing and unnatural. Mushroom blocks could be retextured into giant glowing trees, and the lighting could be more atmospheric to match that Terraria feeling. It would completely change the mood of the game compared to normal maps. Or even something inspired by the Ether-style biome concept, in a cave with light-themed structures. This biome is quite small in terms of concept space, so recreating it in BlockBound would actually make it feel really unique compared to the other maps already in the game. It would stand out instantly just because of how different the atmosphere is. If you guys are asking why I am even speculating about maps in the first place, it is because Hidden, the map director for BlockBound, actually answered one of my questions in the general Discord channel. He basically said that Zoters has considered Terraria-inspired maps, but he still needs to talk it through more with him before anything gets confirmed. So there is actually some level of discussion happening behind the scenes. Overall, I honestly love the idea of Terraria being integrated into BlockBound, especially if they take it a step further and add mechanics tied to it. For example, imagine if you are using a Terraria-themed skin and playing inside a Terraria-inspired map. You could unlock special abilities or an extra ability depending on the character you are using. That would instantly make gameplay way more dynamic and would give people a reason to actually collect and use these skins instead of them just being cosmetic. It could even go further with limited time events, where certain Terraria bosses or events influence the map environment or special modifiers get added during matches. Even small things like themed sound effects, particle effects, or unique emotes would make the crossover feel way more alive and immersive. But yeah, overall, this is still all speculation for now, but the fact that it is even being talked about already makes it really exciting. That being said, you know how Jesse is coming into the game as a survivor to BlockBound? Well, now I have some news for him. So, if you guys didn't know, Jesse will have a sword when you use the character where you would be able to use the sword to hit the killer. Well, recently, one of the members in the community asked, or said if Jesse will be like Guest 1337 in Forsaken. Zoters responded with an answer of a mix of Guest 1337 and Soldier from DBF. You wouldn't need to parry to swing your sword. This means that Jesse's sword would basically act like an ability so you could use your sword anytime you want, and probably stun the killer for a moment for you guys to run away. This is really good news, as this shows that you wouldn't need to time a parry or even have to perfect parrying to stun the killer, and will be a really good advantage for the survivors. After that, another member in the Discord server asked if block will be purely defensive now because you wouldn't need to block to use the sword. Zoters then responded that blocking has an active variant for offense if you hit enough shield blocks. This is now very huge news, because as survivors like villagers or others with no ability to stun or hit the killer, we now know that there is still a way for them to use something offensively. This is probably some kind of mechanic where you would need to block an attack from the killer 5 or more times to do an attack or something against the killer. Overall, I feel like the devs cooked hard on this, as most asym games have killers that are too overpowered and not balanced at all. Now, because of this, BlockBound seemed to have balancing in mind, especially for the survivors. And that is it. Thank you guys for watching all the way until the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Love you all.